Hello everybody and welcome to another video. And today we're going to be revisiting alien weaponry. Now, last time I looked at them it was actually just slightly over a year ago now. I actually looked at the track Kaitangata on my birthday last year. So it's been a while since I actually last looked at them. And, you know, I was looking at my list and this song had come up a few times, so I thought, you know, why not? So today we're going to be looking at a track called Whenua. Now I've probably pronounced it hideously wrong, I don't know, but yes, there is actually a little bit of a story to go with this song. When I was looking up the lyrics I found this information. And it says, Whenua is written entirely in Te Reo Maori. This is, similarly to Kaitangata, which was also performed entirely Te Reo Maori, and this is also the case here. And the song is dedicated to two of the band members' great-great-great-grandfather, Te Ahauaho, I probably pronounced that horribly wrong, I do apologise, who fought and died in the historic Battle of Pukehinahina Gate Pa in 1864. In this battle, 230 Maori warriors dug themselves into the hilltop and withstood the heaviest artillery bombardment the British Army had ever delivered. It resulted in a crushing defeat for the 1,700-strong British forces and changed the course of New Zealand history. Gate Pa was considered a major disaster for the British military. Now, if you just think about that, 230 Maori soldiers versus 1,700 British soldiers. And the British forces were absolutely decimated. So these 230 Maori warriors managed to stand up and fight against unbelievable amounts of soldiers. I mean, you're looking at what? More than... I can't even do the math there. It's like more than 7 times their numbers in soldiers. You know, that's unreal. Anyway, the explanation carries on. The single is a recollection of those events set to the appropriately heavy sounds of thrash guitars and war drums mixed in with war cries and traditional Maori mourning of the dead. And there is a quote by Louis de Jong here as well. He says, when we were younger, our father would tell us stories about all the sorts of events and battles as we were driving places. At the time we didn't pay that much attention, but now we incorporate those stories into our music. And as was mentioned when I did Kaitangata, you know, they have a very strong amount of pride in their music and their country and their you know, their heritage, you know, the fact that they are so deeply related in with this Maori tribe, as it were. So, you know, they're very, very proud of it all. Now, I do have a translation of the lyrics here. I'm not sure how accurate they're going to be, but I'm sure it will give us a rough idea of what we've got going on here. So I've been waffling for nearly 4 minutes now, so we'll jump to the track now. I'm interested to see what this is like, because I really did enjoy Kaitangata, so we'll see what we've got. So yes, Rana Te Whenua by Alien Weaponry.
Whakarangamaira, whakarangamai ki te tangi o ngā pūrunga I te taumata, apakainaina!
And there we go. That was Runner to Whenua by Alien Weaponry. Now, that was a brutal piece of music. I mean, that was proper heavy. I mean, you could really hear the bass guitar through all of that. You know, the constant thundering of the drums there, you know, had a really sort of a tribal warlike feel to the piece of music. It wasn't quite as melodic as the Kaitangata track, but this one really sort of embodied what they were talking about. I think the actual brutality of the battle that they were talking about. So it's brilliant track, really, really heavy. Now, like I said, the translation here, I cannot be entirely certain that it's going to be accurate, but we'll see what we can do. Now, the track opened with, I believe it was the drummer, shouting, Whakaranga Maira. Now, most people, when they listen to that, it sounds like he's saying, well, it sounds like he's starting off the whole song by saying fuck, basically. But I actually learned this a little while ago from a friend of mine who was from Australia, but he went to New Zealand a fair amount of times, and he was telling me about like certain place names where it was spelt one way and sounded completely different. I mean, this specific word, this Whakarango, is spelt like that. So it's a very complicated. This is why when I did Kaitangata, there were some certain words that I was trying to say. I wasn't sure if I was getting the pronunciation right because I know the way some of the pronunciation is very, very different. Anyway, that opening line, Whakamango Maira, apparently means listen to me. So at the beginning he's calling out, listen to me. I have something I need to tell you, essentially. And they say listen to me like 3 times because he calls out one time saying listen to me, and then you get the sort of almost tribal reply, which is exactly the same thing. Listen to me. And then he goes, listen to the noise of the guns on the summit of Pukehinahina, which is the mountain. And then it says the land is shaking, which is the actual name of the track. Ru Anato Whenua is the land is shaking. Apparently, that's the translation I have here. Whether that's accurate or not, I don't know. Then it goes into the main part of the song. It says the lightning is laughing. Bring the fire to the mouth. Hey, the lightning is laughing. Bring the fire to the mouth of the monster. And this is where the translation sort of might fall apart a bit. It says, the deaths have arrived, it is wrong. The tribes go down into their holes. The deaths have arrived, it is wrong. And that's like the main part of the song so far there. Now, when it says the deaths have arrived, I'm assuming it's meaning, death is on its way. This British army, considered to be the personification of death maybe for this tribe, because they're probably not expecting to be as successful as they actually were at the end of the day. But there's lines there like the tribes go down into their holes, and like I described in the beginning, this small Maori tribe, sort of dug themselves into the mountain to defend their land, to fight back against this British army. And there was a moment in the song where he did a sort of semi-spoken part of lyrics. It sounded like sort of heart-wrenching cries more than anything else. And I'm not gonna try and pronounce the Maori versions because I have no idea. But it says, oh, the tears. Oh, the people have died. Oh, wipe away the tears. Oh, wipe away the blood. And then there's a line here, I'm not sure how accurate this is. It says, on the milk of Mother Earth. I'm not sure if that's accurate. And then it goes, like clouds, the tribes disappear. Worse than death. And then repeated over and over at the end, it says, this is what I have to say, or that is what I have to say. I'm not sure if that's accurate, though. And that's pretty much it. That's all the lyrics we have there. And it's, again, like I say, it's a good song. It's a powerful, powerful piece of music. I mean, that is the sort of piece of music that will really get you pumped up with, the sort of deep, throbbing bass and the incessant rumbling of those drums and stuff. It just sounded brilliant, and it's got such a the meaning behind it. There's an actual proper real story behind this as well that is directly attached to the members of the band. So you can feel the the intensity and the fact that it's so impersonal, that it's so personal to them that they've put a lot more passion into the music. It's fantastic. This band are amazing. And they're all really quite young as well, and they're doing brilliant work, and I'm really interested to see what else they come out with in the future, because so far they've proved to be quite a phenomenal force to be reckoned with. But yeah, it's a great song, and like I said, it's great that there is such a personal meaning to the story as well, to the band, and brilliant, just brilliant. Like I said, I can't be exactly sure that the translation is 100% accurate, and there are certain parts that don't feel accurate to me, but I don't know. But I can't really say anything else on that, so I'm going to leave that as it is. If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or even through my Patreon, where you can also help to support this channel and help me create future content. There is also an option on the Patreon where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the queue should you so desire. There are limitations on that, however, to be fair to other people who recommend tracks through regular means like Facebook and Instagram and the comments below. If you do suggest a track through those regular means, know that it might take me a while to get around to your suggestions, since I get suggested so many tracks every single day that I can't keep up, I get so many suggestions every single day, I can't possibly record all of them. But I do write all of the suggestions down, so they will get done eventually. It's just going to take me a while to get around to them, unfortunately. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, specifically those aimed at people of the alternative culture. It's something I believe in very, very strongly, something I'm very, very passionate about, because it's something that needs more recognition, something that needs to have more done about it. And because every single day, all around the world, people of the alternative community are getting attacked, violently attacked, just because of their taste in music. People are getting brutally beaten, people are getting bones broken, some are even getting more invasive injuries just because of their taste in music, and not enough is being done about it. Every day we hear about all of these other hate crimes, they're all over the news. We hear about sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, ableism, we hear about these sorts of things every single day in the media. From the most heinous and violent of these crimes, where someone is murdered because of their sexual identity or sexual preference, or because of the colour of their skin, and down to the most petty and pathetic of these crimes, where entitled white women are calling the police because a family of colour are eating a picnic in a public area, God forbid. We hear all about all of these crimes, on a regular basis. They get covered in the media all the time. But we're never hearing anything about these people from the alternative culture who are getting viciously attacked, brutally beaten because of their taste in music. And people have said to me, it's not a hate crime. It is a hate crime. It's the very definition of a hate crime. If you are attacking someone because you hate a specific thing about that person, whether it is their sexual identity, their race, or what have you, if you're attacking someone because you hate an aspect of that person, it is a hate crime. So if you're attacking someone because you hate their music, that's a hate crime. It is a hate crime. In the very basis of the definition, it is a hate crime. And nothing's getting done about it, nothing gets spoken about. And the last time any widespread coverage was made of this was over 12 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and Rob Meltby were violently attacked by a group of 5 or 6 people, and so brutally beaten that they both ended up in a coma. Rob Meltby, he thankfully survived. He was in a coma for just over a week or so, I'm not sure exactly how long. Sophie Lancaster was in a coma for 13 days. 13 days. She was in a coma for nearly 2 weeks before she succumbed to her injuries. This girl was murdered because of her taste in music, because she wore alternative fashion. Right? And that was 12 years ago. There has not since been any media coverage of any similar incident since then, but I can guarantee you, in fact, I know for a certainty that there have been incidents. But I can guarantee you hundreds, if not thousands, of other people from the alternative community have been attacked in a similar fashion, and nothing's been said about it. You know, I know there have been incidents of similar attacks, and nothing's been said or done about it. Why is that? Because nobody has died, and that is disgusting. It shouldn't take the death of someone for a subject to get spoken about. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to die before we actually do anything about this. You know, what happened to Sophie Lancaster was an absolute, I can't even put it into words. It was a disgusting, violent act with no purpose other than the fact that these people were small, closed-minded morons who couldn't handle the fact that someone liked different music to them. You know, and what happened to her cannot be allowed to happen again. I mean, it should never have happened in the first place. No one should lose their life because they like different music. You know, you don't beat someone up because they listen to classical music, do you? You don't beat someone up because they listen to Neil Diamond, do you? No. But why would you attack someone because they listen to alternative, heavy music? It's pointless, it makes no sense, it doesn't accomplish anything at the end of the day. You know, but it's just getting widely ignored, and we need to change that. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to bring more attention to the fact that this is happening. They want to put a stop to this happening. They don't want to see another family go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter die over the course of 2 weeks. You know, what happened to Sophie Lancaster cannot be allowed to happen again, and this is, you know, one of the main driving things behind the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. They want to stop this from ever happening again. And I think it's very, very important because we need to bring more attention to this. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their main goal is, because they can explain it a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, you know, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.